Hello, my fellow Americans. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One. I had a really interesting day this past week. I went up to the state capital, Salem, Oregon, and I got to meet the governor. I got to meet my state senator, my state rep, and another rep from the state. And I have to say, I was pleasantly surprised. You know, I got to sit down and talk to him, well, not the governor, but the other three, for about 15 minutes. One-on-one, in their office. I must say they were most gracious. I was really expecting a much colder reception, but they were very welcoming. They were attentive, they listened, and they let me in on a few secrets. And it's really amazing what they have to go through. I mean, they are actually fighting some of the same battles that I'm fighting, because they have to deal with these other people. And some of these other people hold views and ideas that are diametrically opposed. And I guess that's where the politicking comes in. And one representative shared with me the fact that it's special interests that are really in charge. You know, somebody will propose a bill, and then these special interests don't like that bill, so then they fund money to people who will, vote against the bill. And if they don't vote against the bill, then they will fund a candidate to beat that candidate. So, I mean, that's just the way it goes. You know, these politicians have a special interest, getting elected and staying elected. And then there's these other special interests that, have their special interests. And that's pretty much what it is. It's just a big battle. I mean, it's not so much what's good for the people, it's what's good for the special interest. And until that changes, until that part changes, we're screwed. I mean, there's nothing they can do. I mean, they heard my issues, and it was really funny because I think maybe I disarmed them. Because when I went in, I go, look, I'm not here to ask you to do anything. I'm not here to ask you for money. I just want to make you aware of some things. And that's all I wanted to do. And maybe they appreciated that, somebody not trying to twist their arm to get them to vote one way or the other. Because I basically told them, I said, I know you have to cut the budget. You need to cut it across the board. One representative shared with me that the state of Oregon is getting the highest revenue in history from the taxpayers, yet there's still over $1 billion shortfall. Like, what's wrong with this picture? There's plenty wrong with this picture. And I said, to me, it's really simple. You just have to do three things. The main thing is you improve efficiency, and you do that by, number one, you eliminate waste. And they all agree there's waste in the government. So you just eliminate waste. That will save money. Number two, the second thing that you have to do, you got to get rid of the bottlenecks. We all know there's these procedures that don't need to be there, and things that just create log jams and nothing can happen. We need to get rid of all that. And then number three, we got to get rid of the dead wood. We all know there's people in there doing nothing more than collecting a paycheck. They're incompetent, they're inefficient, they make poor decisions. We just need to get rid of them. And they all liked what I had to say. I thought I was going to get all this backlash, but not at all. In fact, one representative goes, you need to go talk to your senator with that same passion you're talking to me. He's got to hear this. And another one said that I should run for office. He goes, with the statements that you're making here, I said, no, I'm not electable. Number one, most people don't like me. Number two, I'm really an acquired taste, because I don't do what politicians do. I don't appeal to the heart. I appeal to logic and reason. And that's not going to win you any elections. It just doesn't. Nowhere does that win you anything. Because when you beat somebody down with logic and reason, they don't want to be your friend. You know, when you make them look so stupid and idiotic because of what they just said, you make an enemy pretty much for life. And that's just what I do. I do that everywhere. I do that on the trading forums. I do that, you know, out in public, dealing at these public meetings. When somebody says something idiotic and stupid, I'm going to hit them with facts and evidence, logic and reason. They're not going to be able to out-debate me, and, you know, it's over. And so, like I said, I just told him, I said, I'd love to be in the office, elected office. But then I got to thinking, you know, he said it's just really frustrating because I can just imagine going up to the state capitol as an elected representative, and then somebody else, some other elected rep says something really stupid, and then I just tear them a new one. I'm sure I would probably be somehow banned from the state capitol within 30 days. Because I probably want to go into some hearing and speak, and they go, you can't speak. I go, what do you mean? I'm an elected official, you're an elected official, you're telling me I can't speak? I don't think so. And probably the state police would, you know, have to escort me out, maybe in handcuffs, maybe not, I don't know. But I just wouldn't tolerate any of that bullshit, you know. Pardon my French, I usually don't cuss, but, you know. And it was really funny because one of the reps, I was getting ready, he knew what I was going to say, and I stopped, and he goes, bullshit? I go, yeah, I go, I'm trying to show you some respect here. Because, you know, I usually don't cuss, but he knew what I was talking about. And it was like I said, I really enjoyed meeting my reps, my senator. The governor, I don't know. She told me to contact her assistant, so I did. I haven't heard back. That's been a couple of days, you know, maybe give him a week or two. But, you know, a lot of times people will tell you what they think you want to hear and then nothing happens because most people don't follow up. Well, you know me, I'm going to be following up, and they're going to keep hearing from me until something happens. And that's just the way it is, because that's how you get things done. You don't just rely on them to do it. No, you have to follow up. You know, you have to see it all the way through. So we'll just have to see what happens. But I tell you, up there, I was in a room full of sheep. These people were being pretty much led by the nose, but I had my own agenda, you know. But I learned one thing: these guys are good at what they do. They are very good at what they do, these lobbyists, these organizers. They know how to get people together. They know how to give them the message. They basically, like I said, lead them by the nose. They tell them to stay on point. Here's the message. Here's what you say. You know, they keep repeating it, and it's amazing how these people buy into it, hook, line, and sinker, and never question it. In fact, I asked, because these guys are saying, you know, corporations pay the lowest state tax here in Oregon than any other states, and that's they need to pay their fair share. And I question them. Who gets to decide what's fair? You know, they keep throwing that, and they make all these false dichotomies. You know, you could either, you know, have, you know, this, meaning we could have, you know, better schools, better education, more money for poorer people and help these people, or we can have these corporations, you know, not paying their fair share. False dichotomy. How about get rid of all the government waste, eliminate the bottlenecks, you know, get rid of the deadwood, which would then lower the costs, streamline the system, so you could do more with less. In fact, I think that's I'm going to see if maybe I can get the governor to adopt that. Oregon, doing more with less. I mean, because right now we're doing less with more. Because so long as we keep these bloated, you know, government offices with all these levels of middle management who just make poor decisions and engage in cover-up, because if somebody who works for them makes a mistake, if their boss finds out, well, then they're going to look bad, so it just gets covered up at the lower levels. You know, it never gets to the governor's office, and by the time they find out, then it's some big scandal, and well, you know how it goes. So anyway, like I said, I had a really interesting day up there, thoroughly enjoyed it. May go back in a month or two, do some more lobbying. It was fun. And And so I'll keep you posted, let you know what happens, if anything. So anyway, my fellow Americans, as always, wake up and smell the tyranny.